You want to get started with parent camps? Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, does anyone remember that I came to class?
Yes.
And we talked about the difference between tattling and telling. What happens when someone tattles on you and runs to your parents or your teachers? Lucy?
Wait, what was the question?
What happens, what's an example of tattling? Has anyone ever tattled on you?
If somebody did something that's not kind, but it's not a really big deal.
It's not a really big deal.
Tell the teacher, but it's not a big deal.
You could work it out on your own. And what's an example of when it's really important to tell a parent or tell an adult about something that might make you a little bit concerned? Cole. Did everyone hear what Cole said?
No.
Okay, he said that if it's someone's bleeding or really hurt, let's say maybe on the playground, but there's not someone nearby, it would be really important to tell, correct? That's a telling situation. Is there a different telling situation, Bitsy?
I'm gonna say the same thing.
Okay, anyone have anything different? Yes.
If somebody's doing something very
If somebody's doing something very
dangerous.
dangerous, are there any dangerous things that we could be doing on the playground? What are some dangerous things where someone could get hurt on the playground? Dominic?
Maybe like a climbing monkey bar, and you're trying to inside and like get hurt.
Very good. So today we're going to, stand for a moment. We're going to read a story. It's one of my favorites. I've had it for a long time. And it's called Armadillo Tattletale. Now this is a story of an animal who tattletales between friends. You know, like so-and-so said something about you. Okay, so this is really a story about when we tattle between friends, okay? It's one of my favorites. Well, let's see what happens, Dominic. And I'm going to need your help at different times of the story, okay? In the bare bones beginning, Armadillo's ears were as tall as a jackrabbit's and as wide as a steer's horns. With such wonderful ears, Armadillo could hear anything and everything. And he loved nothing better than eavesdropping on other animals and telling tales about what he heard. Are you okay? Does anyone know what that big word eavesdropping is? Has anyone ever listened in on their parents' conversation on the phone or? Yes, very good. Yes, we all do that sometimes, right? And since the other animals disliked him for telling tales, they beat him to the watering hole every day and forced Armadillo to scrounge through the mud for a puddle of murky water to drink. It tasted awful and practically made him sick. So he drank as little as possible and was always thirsty. One day, as Armadillo stumbled around searching for a puddle, he overheard Egret whisper to Turtle, "Blue Jay's feathers are looking a bit scraggly. I wonder if the poor bird is sick. I'll call him on tomorrow and see if if I can be of help. But Armadillo went to Blue Jay first, twitching his little tail as he spoke. I heard Egret talking about you, he said in a sing-song voice. She thinks you're scraggly looking. Blue Jay squalled and he bawled and he squawked and he gawked and he otherwise threw one humongous hissy fit. Why was Blue Jay upset? Why was Blue Jay upset? Yes.
Because the other person said that has the armadillo wasn't like the other person said, but he was really scratchy and like he told him and it wasn't any of his business.
Oh, very good. I think you got good pieces of that. When Egret was talking to Turtle, he was worried about him, right? About his feathers and he might be sick. But that's not how Armadillo presented it, right? When Egret heard what had happened, she went straight away to Armadillo. What you told Blue Jay was not true. Anyway, my words are not for your ears, she scolded. And she pecked his ears good and proper and gave him the what for, the how come, and the why not. Armadillo cried big armadillo tears, and he promised never to tell tales again.
I wonder if that's gonna happen.
Yes. Did you want to tell me something? Did you want to tell me something?
Oh my God.
But the next day, while searching the mud for a sip of water, Armadillo heard Muskrat and Butterfly talking, and he hid in the bushes to listen. Rattlesnake's rattles used to be terribly out of tune, but now they sound wonderful. She must be taking music lessons, said Muskrat. Armadillo tripped over to where Rattlesnake lay warming herself in the sun. He shifted his weight from foot to foot in an awkward armadillo dance. Rattlesnake opened an eye and Armadillo grinned. I heard Muskrat talking about you. He said your rattles sound terrible and out of tune. Rattlesnake rattled and she prattled and she fussed and she cussed and she otherwise threw one humongous hissy fit.
Hissy fit. Hissy fit.
Very good. When Muskrat heard what had happened, he scurried to Armadillo. You twisted my words into something I did not say, he shrieked. Besides, my words were not for your ears. And he whacked his tail at Armadillo and gave him the, now I'm going to need your help, the what for, the how come, and the why not. Let's practice that. The what for, the how come, and the why not. And if you want to snap, you can. Spreeva snaps with a funny finger. Usually it's this finger, but she doesn't know how to do that. Armadillo cried buckets of tears, and he promised never to tell tales again.
I do not believe that.
Lucy, why don't you believe that? Why doesn't Lucy believe that?
Because he promised to the bird, but he lied.
But he didn't follow through, did he? That's right.
I would really like oh dear, he's gonna win.
But the next day, while slogging through the mud looking for a drink, Armadillo saw Alligator and Blue Heron talking, and he stepped behind a rock to listen. Anyone see his ears?
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Toad's skin is looking so much better than it used to. I wonder if she changed her diet, said Alligator.
Oh, when does that happen this time?
Armadillo shuffled up to find Toad. I heard alligators say your skin is plug ugly and you should go on a diet,
No.
he said with a twinkle in his eye. I think Armadillo enjoys doing this.
Yeah.
I think so too. Croak, rabbit, croak. Toad hopped and she flopped and she wailed and she railed. And she otherwise threw one humongous hissy fit. How do you think Toad feels when someone comes to tell him something unkind? What's a feeling word you can use?
Mad.
Mad.
Sad. Angry.
Upset is a very good word. Yes. What's another word? Sad. Disappointed.
Angry.
Furious. Good angry word. Excellent. When Alligator found out what Armadillo had said, she'd hurried to find him. Why did you tell Toad those things? I never said them, she snapped. Anyway, my words were not for your ears. She gave him the what for, the how come, and the why not. Okay, good. Uh-oh.
Not look good.
And now she said, I'll fix your ears so you won't be snooping and telling tales again. And she opened her mouth and gnashed and clashed her big, strong alligator teeth. And then she nipped and snipped and clipped at Armadillo's ears until there was nothing left but tiny, teeny, itsy, weeny little ears. When she finished, Armadillo looked at his reflection in a puddle. His eyes were so tiny, his ears were so tiny. Then he started to cry. Right? Oh, did he cry? He raised such a ruckus that all the animals came to see what had happened. When they saw his ears, his new, teeny, tiny, itsy, weeny little ears, they stared and they gawked and they whispered. Armadillo stopped crying. What? He asked. What are you whispering? Everyone gaped at Armadillo's because for the first time, he hadn't quite heard. It was not for your ears anyway, Muskrat called out. Armadillo's face turned red. I did not hear the whispers, but I heard that, he said, chasing after Muskrat. In seconds, Armadillo caught him. Did you all see how fast Armadillo ran? Muskrat shouted. He didn't trip at all, added Blue Jay. Why, he's so fast now, we'll never be able to keep him away from the fresh water, said Rattlesnake. Armadillo felt his teeny, tiny, itsy-weeny little ears. Fresh water, he shouted. This is just what I want, and it's fun to run fast. Then he danced and raced in circles and zigzags all the way to the watering hole, where he drank as much fresh, clear water as he wanted. From now on, I will never be thirsty again, and he wasn't. He also stopped telling tales, for even though he could hear with his tiny, teeny, itsy-weeny little ears, he could not overhear the other animals' conversations. To this day, armadillos have small ears. They always drink their fill of fresh water, and you may hide in the bushes and listen as long as you like, but you will never, ever catch an armadillo telling tales again.
He used a straw to drink the water.
He did. He did. Okay. Have you ever had times where you heard something and then you passed it on to a friend, or you were mistaken about what you heard? Or had anyone come to you?
I think I did when I was in
Raise your hand.
But now I can't do that one.
Do you want to